Did you ever turn around to Eli and be like, nah, I don't like that play. We need to run the ball?
Hey,
That's every alignment ever.
man. Hey, do you have old linemen that do that to you, Nick?
Either it's incomplete pass. The first incomplete pass we throw, we just hear, that's why we got to run the damn ball. That's why we got to run the ball. That's why coach has to run the ball in the next play. It doesn't matter if we completed 5 balls and then the one is incomplete. Now we got to run the ball. I hear it all the time. Welcome to episode 12 of Nick Rome's Empire. Thank you everyone for tuning back in. And today we have a very special guest with us. We have Tre Stallings. Tre, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. How's everything? What is it like? Because you oversee football for Conference USA, obviously. So, like, in the off season, is it less hectic or is it more hectic for you?
Yeah, it's more hectic, man. Again, you think about, like, for you guys, right? Would you say it is more hectic during the season for you or during the off season?
Right. I mean, during the season. You know, off season, I feel like we have less responsibilities up until spring football.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a little bit of the latter. Because me, for right now, you know, it's all about the preparation for the upcoming season, right? So for me, this is really I would say my busy time. Mainly because, again, you're trying to get coaches together, you're trying to get administrators together to obviously formulate the plan for the upcoming season. And then last but not least is, okay, what does the officiating look like for the season in terms of, you know, what crews do we put together, how those crews formulated, how do we get our O2O systems on the right connection points, how do we get like coach-to-player communication, how do we get in-game, how do we get all the technology features managed, because last year was the first year with all those integrations, and I wouldn't say it was a smooth year, but we certainly had to troubleshoot a lot of different things. So right now, again, it's a lot of meeting, a lot of preparation, again, and planning for the future, and not just for the 2025 season, but for the 2026 season in particular.
Yeah, how does like scheduling work? How do you like kind of come up with that? That's kind of crazy to me, because we already have the schedule for next year, don't we?
I think so.
What?
I don't know how it works. I think
Hey,
non-conference.
I want to ask you guys a question because I'm intrigued, right? Because I don't get to interact with student athletes a lot, but like for you guys, when you see the schedule, like what's your initial thoughts? Because again, it's going to help me kind of formulate my answer.
I feel like
Do
I
you
usually
have
look
any
at
thoughts?
where our away games are.
Oh, that's
Okay.
that's
Like,
probably
dang,
accurate.
you're making us fly to Mexico State as our last game. No, it's all good, though. It's all good. It's just a long trip. It's okay, though.
No, yeah, that's probably.
I'd probably say look at away games first. Or I'd probably see how many home games we have, and then I look at what the away games are. I'd probably
Yeah.
like how I look at it.
Hey, so I will tell you, the football schedule is complex in and of itself. Obviously, because you're trying to manage really 12 teams with 12 different sets of issues, with 12 different venues. And again, the non-conference schedule is what really sets the slate for trying to create the conference schedule. So when you think about it, most of our schools or most of our institutions are playing their first 4 games within the first 4 weeks of the season, or the non-conference schools in the first 4 weeks of the season. Well, sometimes you get a couple schools that will schedule that late November, you know, non-conference opponent against like a SEC school, for lack of a better conference to name. And so for me, it's really trying to balance the schedule. And then not only that, but then you throw in midweek football. And again, you shift from playing on Saturdays primarily to a Tuesday, Wednesday format, and that completely opened up a different can of worms. And so, again, a lot of it is just adjustments across the board. But then again, we also have this formula where we send out requests to each member institution and we ask them, hey, do you have anything that you just have to have for this upcoming season in terms of homecoming, in terms of, you know, any type of special event that you're putting on for your campus? And then we kind of manage that, and then we just kind of lay out what the conference schedule will be moving forward. The other thing I want you guys to at least think about too is, you know, as we consider, you know, just the conference football schedule in and of itself, you know, what's the rotation like? Like, Middle Tennessee, do you want to play Western Kentucky each and every year, right? Is there something that should be in the rotation each and every year? And then, who are some primary opponents that you guys can play year in and year out? Like, do you want to face a Kennesaw State? Do you want to face a Jacksonville State? And again, those are questions that we really put on the plate of your athletic director to get input from them. And again, then we take all that information and then just kind of put the schedule together.
When Conference USA introduced the midweek games, like how much more did that put on your plate in terms of like the logistical aspect of it, and like how long was that kind of in the making until it kind of that was 2 seasons now we've done it, right?
Yep, two seasons now we've done it. Yep. So I'll tell you, it's a huge challenge to take on, primarily because again it is complex in that it cuts like. Our natural midweek schedule is hectic in and of itself because you go from playing on Saturdays to the next week playing on Thursday, Friday. And then the following week, you play on Wednesday, Thursday. And then for the last 3 weeks of the midweek stretch, we play on Tuesday, Wednesday. So there's a natural attrition of days that happen throughout that time frame. And then not only do you have to consider that, you also have to consider, hey, every team may not be on national television during that time frame. So how can we make sure that everyone, if they're playing a midweek game, is playing on national television? So that's another factor. And the last factor I would tell you is rest time for you guys. Like we gotta find ways to protect the student athletes to keep you guys from playing in like a 5-day cycle where you're playing on a Thursday, and then you turn right back around and play on Tuesday. We want to avoid those things at all costs and really make it to where, you have a normal stretch of days to kind of obviously recover your body and obviously be able to prep like a normal week from week to week. So it's a lot, man. I'll tell you, it certainly was a huge undertaking for all of us, not just the conference office. All we're doing is putting out the schedule. You guys obviously have to go out there and play the game. And so, again, I think, it's been great, especially from a branding standpoint, really getting Conference USA's name out there. But at the same rate, obviously, the burden really falls on you guys in terms of being able to switch gears going from Saturday to a midweek game.
And I think, along even, other changes, even since I'm going on my 5th season now, and Roman will be on his 2nd season. But I'm thinking when I came in as a freshman, the teams that were in the conference that aren't in the conference, and then we've since added newer teams. So when you have teams would a team I'm thinking a Marshall or FAU who left the conference, does someone contact you and just be like, hey, we're going to another conference, and you're like, damn, I got to replace them, or how? How does that work? We're bringing in Delaware and Missouri State, which is pretty cool, 2 great programs. So, how did something like that happen?
Yeah, I can't speak for, teams that have left the conference, right? We don't really know why they left the conference. There were meetings, right, where they kind of let Commissioner Judy McLeod know that they were leaving the conference. And again, they're talking to their peers as well. So they're talking to, presidents and chancellors from within the membership, kind of letting them know kind of what they're thinking, kind of what conversations they're having, right? It's a negotiation throughout. It's no different, in my opinion, right now than what you guys face in regards to the transfer portal and NIL, right? You're always, not always, but you're certainly in a mode during a certain point in time where you have to have either your recruitment hat on or your negotiating hat on. And for us, obviously, with all the transition we've had over the last 3 years, we've had to have both. We have had that negotiation where we're trying to keep as many members as we possibly can. And then we got to go out and find members, obviously, who can take up that space that we need. And I think, again, we've done a really good job of really navigating this space. I think really all the credit goes to our board of advisors, or our board, and Commissioner Judy McLeod. I think she did a tremendous job in the face of adversity. We're really formulating a really good plan, going out and find people who are really passionate about, joining our league, and we've made the most of it.
Well, before you got into the roles you're in now, obviously you were a player. You played at Ole Miss, that's right.
Yeah.
And then you played in the NFL for a few years. Do you want to kind of just tell us about kind of your playing days and some good memories you had?
Yeah, I was looking at the jerseys on the wall behind you.
Yeah, man. Hey, you guys went down to Oxford last season, right?
Yeah,
was it last
we did.
year? That was last season.
You set us up? Is that what that was? You knew the answer to that question.
Man.
No, I would never do that. I'll tell you, man. Football is fun, right? It's a joy, even now, for me to wake up, continue to go and try and work out, get a lift in, and most of the things I remember about football is the camaraderie, right? It's the times I get to spend, with some of my best friends that I still have to this day. I would say that for me, growing up as a young kid, I was born and raised in Mississippi. My dad played at Southern Miss, and he also played professionally. And so I grew up really just trying to be like my dad. And, luckily for me, we played the same positions. Like my dad started as a tight end, but he finished as the offensive lineman throughout his career. And I'll tell you, man, some of the tricks of the trade that he taught me at an early age, it just helped elevate me in a way that I couldn't have done on my own, obviously. And so when I got to Ole Miss, I'll tell you, like one of the first things we had to do was run 12-1-10s. And I'll never forget, like all the upperclassmen were like, "Oh man, Tre, man, you about to go out there, you about to struggle, man. It's gonna be rough." And I breezed through the 110s, mostly because, man, my dad, since I was 12 years old, was waking me up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we were running and lifting like twice a day, especially in the summers. And so I had a work ethic that, to me, was beyond my own years, even at the ripe age of 18 when I first got to Ole Miss. And then playing in the National Football League, man, that was the dream come true. Yeah. Again, it was hard work, dedication, and a commitment to excellence, which I still carry those traits today that again allow me to be in the positions that I've been in.
That's pretty sweet. What are your kind of favorite?
Go ahead, Rome. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, man, my best football moment, though, I'll tell you. My best football moment. Huh?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
was being drafted. It was the best moment, and mainly because of, again, I was around family, I was around friends, and I'll never forget the time I got that call. So imagine draft day. It was the second day, because I think back in 2006 when I got drafted, I think it was only 2 days. I think if memory serves me correctly. Now I remember the first day go by, really knew I wasn't gonna get a call because I went on like 4 top 30 visits, and I was getting calls throughout the day. So the Dallas Cowboys was calling me, Miami Dolphins was calling me, the Cleveland Browns called me. St. Louis Rams, all these teams were just calling me throughout the day saying, "Hey, man, we're likely going to take you at some point. Just be on the lookout." So I'm getting calls from them, getting calls from my agent. And then lo and behold, like I'm on the phone with the Dallas Cowboys, because at that time, FIU's former coach, Mike McIntyre, was a DB coach with the Dallas Cowboys. And all of a sudden, my wife now, who was my fiance at the time, she was like, "Tre, you got to call here." So I pick up the phone. It really was my best friend, Jamil Northcutt, who was working with the Kansas City Chiefs at the time. This dude turned in my draft card, was able to pick up the phone, transfer the call over to, at the time it was Carl Peterson, and they drafted me, man, with the 186th pick in the 2006 draft. And you talked about, again, a special moment that I was able to share with my family during that time frame.
You think you can name every O-line drafted ahead of you? No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking about that video of Amon-Ra St. Brown where he's naming every single receiver drafted in front of him.
He was dropping them, boy. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
He was just like boom, 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 boom. No, that's awesome.
Hey, he got drafted a lot earlier, too. So
That's a good year.
Maybe if that was the case.
06 was a good year.
Was it? You were born.
Well,
you were born in 06.
Dang, man. Way to make me feel like an old man that I am. Oh, my God.
What was your because you were talking about camaraderie earlier. What was your kind of favorite memory at Ole Miss with your guys?
Man, so many to really pick from. I'll tell you, man, when we played LSU back in 2003, this is Eli Manning's senior year. It was probably at that time the biggest game. I know it was the biggest game I had ever played in terms of what was at stake, what was on the line. We were at that point 6-0 in league play. LSU, I think, had lost one game at that point in time, and we were basically playing. It was basically you had the East and West Division, and we were playing basically for the West Championship. And you talk about a tight game. Atmosphere was incredible. Like, and again, you're just looking at your guys. And you're like, hey man, we got to get this done. Now, unfortunately, we didn't end up on the right side of the win record. But again, man, from what that game meant, the stakes that were there, how the game actually played out. Again, you really leaning on your brothers when adversity hits the most. And you being able to talk through it, work through it, and go from there, man. It was special. It was a really special game. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way, but again, the memory still lives with me to this day.
Is there a play that has stuck with you throughout your career, whether it was at Ole Miss or your time in the league, like just a single play that always sticks out for a good reason or not a good reason?
You have a welcome to the NFL moment.
Hey, man. You know we kind of harp on the things that kind of just didn't go the way we thought it would go.
Yeah.
It would be the LSU game. Right. Like there were a couple plays in my mind where I got beat on a play by Marquise Hill, and it was right before a huge fourth down play where our left guard actually stepped on the foot of Eli Manning and tripped him up in the pocket, and he failed. Right. But the play before that, I had gave up a pressure to Marquise Hill, and I'll never forget it. And again, you think about, man, if I could have just, held my block a little bit longer, maybe we wouldn't have been in that situation. Maybe we would have been, further down the field or something like that. So, just little things like that, man, where you feel like you can go back in time, maybe something happens and it change the outcome for sure.
Did you ever turn around to Eli and be like, nah, I don't like that play. We need to run the ball? That's every lineman ever.
Hey, man. Hey, do you have O-linemen that do that to you, Nick?
I mean,
both of y'all have O-linemen that do that to y'all?
If we're rolling.
Well, it depends. Like, if we're in a practice period when we're just, like, we're doing drives, like we're driving the ball down the field, and then say we kind of stall, Roman and I can be rolling, or any of the quarterbacks can be rolling. Either it's incomplete pass. The first incomplete pass we throw, we just hear, that's why we got to run the damn ball. That's why we got to run the ball. That's why coach has to run the ball in the next play. It doesn't matter if we completed 5 balls and then the one is incomplete. Now we got to run the ball. I hear it all the time.
That is wild. No, I didn't personally do that. I can't say that my teammates didn't say, hey, man, just run the ball. But we certainly, like again, you think about it, when Eli was a senior, I was a redshirt sophomore, right? So I didn't feel like I had the cachet to really say anything to these seniors. But you better believe, like we had a right tackle by the name of Belton Johnson, who was a 5th-year senior. His brother played right guard, Marcus Johnson. They would definitely turn around and be like, hey, man, tell Coach Cutcliffe we need to run the ball. Stop passing the ball so much. We dominating up here. Run the ball.
Man.
So, yeah, we certainly would they would air their opinions. I ain't air my opinion, so I got a little bit older.
I feel like, O-line, I feel like the O-line room is usually one of the closest rooms on the team. I feel like, yeah.
No doubt.
One of the closest rooms on the team. You still talk to a lot of those guys that you played with?
All the time, man.
Especially on the O-line?
Yeah.
I can imagine.
I mean, you think about it. We spend so much time together, and I'll take it a step further. Like, I think about even now for you guys, right? Really trying to build cohesion when you have so much more turnover amongst rosters than you had when I played, right? And so how do you build that camaraderie? Like, how do you build those close-knit relationships to where not only do you trust that person, but you trust what he's thinking? And I think that's what makes O-line play so unique. And in particular for you guys, like you guys got to be able to trust what those guys are doing, obviously for in order for you to do your job. And so that bond, that relationship, like man, to me, there's nothing like it.
Love the big guys.
Big guys, good dudes.
We got a good
Good
group.
dudes.
Now, how often do you guys hang out with the O-line? That's a question I want for you guys.
I'm glad to
Like,
use them.
Here and there.
Every now and then.
We've actually, so a group of us have been coaching this, we've been coaching these little kids in this flag football league. And so
Okay.
today is the championship, and I'm coaching against the center. Like, I'm coaching against our center. So I've just heard it. Like, for the last week, I've just heard it from him. So we haven't been on great terms. And he's been talking all the mess in the world, but, I'll let my kids play and do the talking for me. And they'll go out
No
there.
doubt. What age range are we talking about?
Kindergarten, first graders, man.
Oh, look out. Okay, so you gotta tell me a play design. I gotta know a play design. I gotta put it in my coaching repertoire.
Hand the ball off and run. That's it. I mean, I think we ran a reverse. We were able to execute a reverse and then end up going for a touchdown. And it was just like I called the game-winning play in the Super Bowl. That's how I felt, getting those kids to run
Yeah, when
reverse
it
the right way. When it connects,
When a punch lands.
man.
That's awesome, man. That's incredible.
Me and Brett were
That's incredible. So hey, what do you guys got? What do you guys actually have going on right now, just in terms of, obviously off week? Well, when have you guys finished spring ball already?
Tomorrow, last day, last practice. So, and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
Then we'll be done
So
with
by
spring
the time
ball.
this comes out, we'll be done.
But I mean,
Are
other
you
than
guys
that,
ready to be done?
no. I mean,
It's a blast.
It's playing ball is what you love. So, being out there on the field, it's good. But I mean, it's exciting. Like I think when spring ball ends, it kind of just means you're one step closer to the season coming. Really, so crazy how it all flies by.
It does. It goes by quick, man. You look up and you'll be my age with gray hairs.
Did you know what you wanted to do when you were done playing football, or how did you kind of get into what you're doing now?
Hey, friends,
Yeah.
friends, relationships. To me, that's what life is about, right? And so I had no earthly idea what I wanted to do once I got done playing, and I'll never forget how I really got into this, right? And it was more so of just, again, making some connections. I remember I had a friend by the name of Woody Dixon, who was the general counsel for the Kansas City Chiefs when I played. And Woody had just transitioned over to being the general counsel for the Pac-10. And again, I'm just getting done. I'm fresh out of football, not knowing what to do, how to do it. And I took a gamble, and I reached out to him and said, "Hey, Woody, I'm getting out of football. We're looking to see, what I can do next. I see you working at the Pac-12." And he was like, "Hey, man, we got an administrative fellow position out here." He said, "Man, it's a paid internship." He said, "I'm not sure how much it pays, but if you're interested, I'll throw your name in the hat." And from there, the opportunity opened up for me, man. And again, I can't thank Woody enough for that opportunity because, again, it's helped lead me to where I am now for sure.
Friends.
Relationships, man, I'll tell you to make sure you utilize them as much as you can. They are essential. Hey, can I ask a couple questions? I know you guys been asking me some questions. I want to ask you guys some questions, some real questions, man. Like, what are y'all's thoughts on the transfer portal? Like, do you think it's a good thing for the players? Do you think it's a not so good thing? Like, what is it about the transfer portal that makes it worthwhile for dudes?
Oh no, I'm true blue through and through. But no, I'm just kidding.
I'll answer that.
No, I'll let Roman answer it. I mean, I don't know.
I think it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's just giving more people opportunities to play.
Definitely
And
more
go find
opportunities.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But going to I don't like people who go they'll go for a school for a year, then another school for a year, then another school for a year.
It's the 5 schools in 5 years thing. I think is silly. I mean, there's just if you're like Roman just said, if you're transferring every year, then that's a little silly to me. But I think I think it definitely gives guys an opportunity. Like Roman said, I mean, if you feel like you're not getting an opportunity somewhere and you can go somewhere else and you end up playing a lot, I think good for you. If I feel like we've had a lot of guys who have performed well here and they've gone on to bigger schools and played really well. and that's awesome for them. Like, they deserve every part of that. Like, those guys worked hard, and they're doing great now. So I think it can definitely help guys. It can definitely help guys, and it could hurt guys too. So I mean, but that's why you guys make the rules and we just play by them. So.
Hey man, you help formulate those rules now. That's why I'm asking the questions. Because again, I think in the space that we're in with a lot more player empowerment, we need to hear your voices. Like, again, I'm a big advocate of that. If we don't know what you guys want, then at the end of the day, like, what are we really doing? Like, we're not listening well if we're not getting your point of view, and then your point of view actually being implemented in some of the things that we're trying to get accomplished. So that's why I want to ask the question, because again, you guys are just as much a part of this as we are. Well, really, you are the hand that rocks the cradle, in my opinion.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm in the same boat as you guys, right? I never even thought about transferring when I was at Ole Miss. Again, I think it's much more. It has much more to do with, what's actually occurring in our space. Like, again, if you're at Middle Tennessee, Nick, I would hope that you would at least listen, Roman. I hope you guys would at least listen if someone said, "Hey, I think I have $250,000 for you." I would hope that you would at least listen to that. Not saying that you would leave Middle, but I hope you would listen to that opportunity, fill it out, and then make a decision from there. I think that we would be naive as individuals if we didn't take a look at an opportunity that could help propel us into the future. So those are my initial thoughts. I think the transfer portal is good on surface. I think there are a lot of good things. I do think we live in a time where there is so much unknown that we need to figure out where we're going and how we get there sooner rather than later. I think the house settlement will help with some guidance with that. But at the same rate, man, how much guidance for how long is probably the bigger question that we're actually dealing with right now. But to answer your question, transfer portal on the surface, I think it's a really good thing, to your point.
I think NIL took it to a whole nother level that, like, no one was really probably prepared for. I mean, it's just
happened so fast.
It's crazy how it is.
Like, you see Nico at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
He's not practicing anymore because he saw somebody else get just about as much money as he did.
I saw that. That's crazy.
Wait, what?
Like, an ESPN report came out.
Yeah, like Tennessee's quarterback hasn't practiced the last 2 days of spring ball because like another school offered a quarterback way more money than he was getting, and he was like, "If you can't match that, then I'll leave." So I'm like, that's the word. ESPN report.
Man, crazy world. College football is a crazy world.
He had a good year too.
Crazy. Think about that. Like see, those are the things that I think about, again, as a 40-year-old man. Those are the things that I think about. Again, I think that's Nico. That's him and his family's own situation, own type of dealing with the institution. But again, for me, the lens I look at it, it's an opportunity, and you have to make that opportunity what you want it to be, and whether that's trying to renegotiate an NIL deal, or going to another school because they provide you another opportunity to get more playing time. I think, again, you got to weigh those options and go from there. I hope I don't get in trouble with Coach Mason by being honest and truthful with you guys.
I back pocketed it.
Nah, you won't. Coach Mason likes being honest and truthful too.
I don't think Coach Mason watches our podcast anyways.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
If he reading tweet stuff, I know he has to be watching.
Yeah.
Man, one last question. Okay. Again, I want to have these type of conversations a lot more, obviously, in my role, because again, it helps me be a lot more effective when having conversations about, hey, what do student athletes want? Bowl games. What are you guys' thoughts on bowl games? Do you think they're good?
My first 2 years, we went to bowl games and they were great experiences. I know, like, guys love them. I think it's a good thing. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing at all. I think guys enjoy it. I think it's usually a good week for guys, and hopefully get Roman to one. Get Roman to his first bowl game this year.
Yeah.
But
I've never been to one, but
yeah.
like hearing guys talk about it in the locker room, like the one that they went to, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They like tell like stories, like the camaraderie, like stories that they all did together when they were there, and I think it gives like something to play for, like just something more to play for, make games more competitive towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're good.
For sure.
I mean, why do you
that's
ask that?
good.
I've never why do you ask that about the bowl games?
I mean, you think about it. You think about the expansion of the CFP.
Yeah.
Like this past year, bowl games were a lot more condensed. Some,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you, there's just a lot of change, right? Like for instance, there's been talk about going from a 12-team playoff to a 14-team playoff, right? So again, how does that affect the bowl games? How does it affect the bowl season in and of itself? I personally think that bowls are good, but again, we don't ask the student athletes these questions. Like again, we can sometimes sit in the room and make decisions and not have the input of again the people that are actually involved in it. I just think we need to move to a space to where again you guys actually have some input, some say in how this thing actually works.
Yeah.
So again, that's why I asked the question.
I wouldn't.
Good question.
I mean, I feel like just from experience, I don't think there would be many who would say that they wouldn't like bowl games. Like I think every player would say bowl games are good, and they would want the opportunity to make a bowl game, and then to get that experience. And I think a lot of guys would really cherish that opportunity getting to go to one. So I don't think you would find many guys that would be against bowl games at all.
No doubt. And you know why I bring it up, right? Because what you see in bowl games is sometimes guys don't play. Sometimes because guys are transferring.
Yeah. I think all the changes
that's what
in
makes
college
it a
football.
conversation.
Yeah.
All the changes, whether it's NIL, transfer portal, guys opting out, expansion of the playoff. But I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. You got a lot to deal with.
I wouldn't want to be you right now.
You got a lot to deal with.
Oh my God! Hey, tell me this, man. And again, this will be my last one. Can we do this a little bit more often? Maybe not necessarily on you guys' podcast, but certainly being able to just top it up like this. It certainly helps me be more effective in my job.
No doubt,
Yeah,
I'm down.
sure.
We can definitely do that. We don't got much going on after spring ball, so you just let us know. You just hit us
Hey, I
up.
know
We're
at
good.
spring ball it is downtime for real. I remember them days.
Great
Being able to
days.
just hang out.
That month before summer workouts starts, man, nothing better.
Nothing
better.
Hey, you guys fish at all or anything like that?
Fish?
I don't fish that much. I've probably fished about 4 times in my life.
So what do you do for fun then? What do you do for fun? I'm
Golf.
interested. Nice.
Golf.
Not a good high five.
That was a terrible high five. Well, golf, pickleball.
Sleep. I like to sleep.
Yeah, Roman's a big sleeper and a big movie guy. I love movies too.
I'm a movie guy.
Hey, give us your best movie real quick.
Oh, top 3 movies, and we're running out of time. So
Yeah, you gotta go off the dome.
Here we go.
Like rapid
Here we go.
fire.
No
All my-
rush, but
All my
kinda
top
rush.
3 movies are all Marvel movies, right? So I'm gonna go obviously Infinity War, Endgame, and I love Thor Ragnarok.
Boom.
Those
Oh,
3
that's a good
movies
movie.
right there are
That was in my-
really my top 3.
What?
Wow, I think that was in my top 3.
It was?
Thor Ragnarok.
It might have been.
No,
we
it
could go
wasn't.
back
It
and check
wasn't.
the
No, I know it wasn't.
the tape. Go back and check the tape.
That's a good movie. That's my top 3 Marvel.
That's
movie
good top 3. And you listen to them quick, so that's how you know you're.
Absolutely.
Hey, well,
Absolutely.
we really
Black
appreciate.
episode.
It
We
was
were talking
Chris
about
Blatnick's
Thor.
episode. We really appreciate you coming on, though, taking some time to come on, and no doubt we can definitely have more of these conversations.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys, man. Y'all take care. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You as
Yeah.
well.
Thank you for everyone tuning in to episode 12 of Nick Roman's Empire. We'll see you next week right here for episode 13.